Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to VidaneTV. It's Thursday night. You know what that means. It is NEP night in America and even parts of Canada. A couple of Canadians sprinkled on in the field here this evening. Looks like they're all qualified up in the top six here as well. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the production booth, pushing all these buttons, yelling into the microphone, and having ourselves a bit of a time up here at IRP. Going to be 150 laps on the docket here tonight for the Lord Spotting Services 150. Gonna be a whole lot of fun. Take a look at the starting lineup there on your screen. Reagan Parent going to start on the pole here. He's got himself quite the short track history this season so far. Short track record, as it were, coming into this one. Ryan Libby going to start on his outside. Jason Recker starting in third. Ryan Messer won last week in NEP. Also won this past Monday night with the RBR Season 7 kickoff here, and winning a lot of races in that one car. We'll see what happens here tonight after a solid qualifying run. John Peters, the reigning defending three-time series champion, going to roll off P5. Brent Roy up in the points battle. Taking a look at it, folks, as we look at the starting lineup as it goes across your screen there. The points are really starting to tighten up as we come into this one. Ryan Messer on top of the point standings. Just kind of looking at it, getting ready for tonight's show. He's got 1 point over Daddio. Stephen Daddio running in second in points. Brent Roy is 5 markers back in third. Reagan Parent is 15 markers back in fourth. And Kenny Kibbe, 23 back in fifth. John Peters back there in sixth after missing a couple of races earlier on this season. But man, oh man, as we get into it, race number 10 here tonight, gonna be a whole lot of fun to kind of focus in on that points battle as we get down to the final few races of the season. There you can see everybody getting lined up on track 2 by 2, getting ready to rock and or roll. Looks like lights are out on that iRacing pace car. We're going to get ready to go green flag racing here at the virtual Lucas Oil IRP Speedway here for the Lord Spotting Services 150. And it is going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're live all over the internet as we like to be. We're live on Facebook for both the NEP series as well as VidaneTV. We're live over on the VidaneTV YouTube page. We're live over on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Strictly94. Be sure to give us the like, the subscribes, the follows, all that good stuff. It lets us know that you're entertained, and, well, it lets the algorithm know that you're entertained here as well. We can keep pushing out all of our content here. But here we go, little late model racing. King of the late models here with VidaneTV. NEP Series race number 10. Getting ready to take that green flag. Reagan Parent down to the bottom side. Ryan Libby up top, waiting for Bubbles in the flag stand to get that green flag. There it goes. We're racing once again here for NEP. Up into the outside wall goes the 46 car, gets it sorted out, everything A-OK. Looks like he knocked a little bit of speed off, but not all too shabby. Able to pull right back up to the door panel, side by side. Gonna lead lap number 1 in that 46 car up on the high side. And that's something to definitely keep an eye on here as we get into this one, because we talked to a couple of the drivers before the track. This race surface is very, very abrasive. These guys are going to be eating tires for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we do have 2 sets of tires down on pit road. We can make it about 130 laps on a full tank of fuel here at IRP. So fuel strategy definitely going to be a factor in this one. Tire strategy going to be a factor as well. Made mention 2 tires down on pit road. 100% for the fuel load as we get single file. Little conveyor belt action here as we work lap number 3. Reagan Parent still holding on to the lead there. Ryan Messer in the 1 car behind him, holding on to that back bumper, trying to get up to it. You can see he's really able to kind of close right to it and not able to really make any kind of momentum from there. Not able to kind of swing up on the high side just yet. That's one of those things, once we get a little bit of tire wear, these drivers are going to be utilizing that high side just a little bit more to kind of get those cars to turn just a little bit, but not much changing up in the top 10 or so. Ryan Messer gained himself a couple of spots. He got around Libby and Ricker, who are still back here in at 3 and 4. John Peters still here in 5th. There you see Brent Roy in the 26 car. John Miller in behind him. Couple of cars beating and banging a little bit further on back. There you see the 29 car of Spencer Davis getting side by side, sorts it back out, tucks back into the tire tracks there of Jeffrey Bradway. And the number 13 car, Corey Casagrande, and the 7 car in behind him, the 62 of Adam Henry, Zane Farrell, Mike Hopkins. Right now the top 5 as they run, and you can see the 99 of Steve Daddio. He knows he's got to get up towards the front of the pack because he's got to get that lead in the points. He's 1 point behind Messer as they come in. A little bit of a wiggle there for the 14 of Zane Farrell. Shoots on up in front of Hopkins in the 78 car and gets it all sorted out. And taking a look, we're not seeing the right paint schemes here. Now we might be seeing some of them. As we're maybe having some issues here with the trading paint service here. We'll have to check that out. But a gaggle of cars back here just outside the top 10 trying to move themselves up into a position to try and catch this guy. After 8 laps coming to the start-finish line for lap number 9, Reagan Parent checked out just a little bit. He's got a half-second lead over Ryan Messer. Ryan Libby there as well in that 46 car. Jason Ricker, John Peters, the top 5 currently on lap number 9. Tight racing all the way around the racetrack, as you can see everybody knowing we're getting into the nitty-gritty of this season. These guys want to get every point that they possibly can to see if they can do something with some of those leaders. The top 5 especially coming in as tightly gripped up and in the point standings as they are. You can see a little side-by-side action here behind Jeffrey Bradway, Corey Casagrande, Steve Daddio, Hopkins. Those guys are side-by-side back there. Daddio trying to get every position he can because he knows each and every single one of those positions he gains is a point closer, or is one less point that he's going to lose on the current points leader, Ryan Messer. And it's going to be a tall task to try and catch that 1 car, because we've made mention that Ryan Messer has won a lot of races here on VidaneTV, in the NEP series, in the TCM series, over in the RBR series as well. Lots of late model races, lots of short track races. So that 1 car definitely knows what he's doing. Currently running in the 2nd position right now, trying to chase down Reagan Parent, but right now Parent doing really good at getting some fresh air on the nose of that car. He's a little onboard look off of the front nose of the 4 car of Kenny Kibbe. There's Kenny Kibbe as we look from the 29 of Spencer Davis. Just action-packed all the way around this racetrack. You can see the 4 car trying to hold off the 29 here. Everything looking A-OK, and you can see a lot of these drivers starting to drift up the top of the racetrack and use that middle groove, that high line, to try and get around this place. Couple of wide angle shots, able to see the 7, 8 cars up towards the front. Have got it all sorted out. Little conveyor belt action here as we work lap number 14. A little bit of an extra distance race here for the NEP series. Little bit, a couple laps added on to the main event here tonight. 150 on the docket, 15 left, or 15 down. So quite a bit of racing left to go here. And looking at RSal TV's notes for Ryan Salvatore rather, looks like we can get about 135 laps or so on a tank of fuel. So these drivers definitely going to have to come down pit road at least for a splash of fuel to get to the end of this one. We do also know that these drivers have been given 2 sets of tires down on pit road on top of what they've got on the car. So at any point, if they do in fact come down pit road, they've got that opportunity to try and get themselves some fresh rubber on these cars. And after talking to everybody in practice and right after qualifying there, this racetrack very, very abrasive. It's going to chew up tires all night long. So you can see these front 3, they're able to kind of pull away at this point. They're not pressing on their cars at all here, as you can see, just kind of coasting in that middle groove. Great line there for Ryan Libby, trying to chase down Ryan Messer, but not pressing the issue too much, trying to save the equipment as much as they can. And they're doing a little bit better job than some of these guys back here for 4th, 5th, 6th on back, because these guys, they're racing hard trying to get themselves up into the top 5, top 10, even up into the podium if they can get up that far. So they're pressing their cars just a little bit harder than some of these guys up towards the front who've got it sorted out single file, and that may be something to keep an eye on here as we get down into it. We've been clean and green all race long. We can take a look here at some of the best lap times. We'll take a look. 22:11, 22:12 for the leader in 2nd place. That's going to be their best lap time. Last time by about a tenth slower, maybe a tenth and a half. You can see 22.27 for Parrott, 22.29 for Messer. So slowing down just a little bit, 20 laps in, and that's going to be something these guys are going to write down in the virtual notebook, because they know that after about 20 laps on a set of tires with green flag racing, they're going to lose about 2/10. And each and every single 20 laps that goes by, you're going to lose just a little bit more time, and a little bit more time, and a little bit more time as those tires start to wear off. And you can see these drivers starting to race into the sunset now. Great shot, onboard shot there just about a half a lap ago of that sunset setting behind the bleachers. There we go, a couple more of them there as well. And you can see from these speed shots, everybody moving up to the wall there trying to get a little bit more grip. We're live all over the place here this evening. We're live on Facebook for NEP Series as well as VidaneTV. We're live on the VidaneTV YouTube page. We're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Strictly94. I believe we're even live in the Outdoor Traveler up there in Sandy Shores. So got to give a shout out to those folks tuning in here tonight, catching a little late model action here in the iRacing world, focusing in on a lot of the drivers that have raced or do race up in the Northeast and really all over the North American continent in the United States and Canada. A pretty good, big mix of drivers here, and a lot of talent, a lot of personalities here as well. Always fun to kind of tune in to NEP After Dark as some of the drivers get together in the big red shed and talk about what went on during the race, and it's always kind of cool to catch up with that. We'll be listening in later on here tonight. We don't dare put it out on the airwaves, but we'll at least get the TV crew down there and chat up with some of the drivers just a little bit. But you can see right now, working lap number 24, crossing the stripe for 25, Reagan Parrott has this thing pretty well held on to. He started on the pole by quite a bit, and you can see he has himself about a 3/4 of a second lead over Ryan Messer, and that's what every driver likes to see. A clean racetrack out in front, nothing to do with lap traffic for the time being. You can see there's a couple of drivers getting into 1 and 2 as he's coming off of 3 and 4. So that's going to be a little bit of an obstacle later on here in this one if we do, in fact, stay green. And everything looking really good for these drivers so far. Reagan Parrott up in the front, currently holding on to the lead. Ryan Messer there in second. Won last week here in NEP, won the RBR Season 7 opener here on Monday night. And in behind him, Ryan Libby. He lost a spot to that one car, but he's still in that third position in the number 46 car. And you can see, looking off the back of that race car, it's quite a shot back to the number 9 of Jason Ricker. He's got a mirror full of that 09 car of John Peters. Oh, I think they touched just a little bit getting into it. The 09 car all over the back bumper of that number 9 of Jason Ricker, right in behind, going to try and tuck down on the bottom side, see if he can open up that door and get himself another position, try and get a little bit up higher in that top 5. Brent Roy with a top 3 run on Monday night here as well on VidaneTV. The Camry Kid number 26 car running in that 6th position. Series sponsor Brandon U.S., the number 3 car, having a solid run here as well. Gained himself 3 spots. He's in the 7th position. He's got a mirror full of Johnny Miller, though. That number 6 car moving on up, dropping back just a little bit. He's lost a spot. Spencer Davis in behind him, though, in the 29 car. He's gained 5 spots. Biggest mover of the race so far in that number 29 car. And right behind him, you can see just a little bit of a gap. Kenny Kibbe in 10th, kind of leading another pack of cars here. Corey Casagrande in the 7 car up in the mix. Zane Farrell there in the number 14. Jeffrey Bradway, Series Rookie of the Year contender for this season. He's back here in 13th. Steve Daddio back in 14th, trying to give himself a couple more spots for the points championship. Came in tonight 1 point behind current points leader Ryan Messer, who's up there in 2nd. So Daddio knows he's got to move up quite a bit here if he's going to hold on to that 2nd place, because Brent Roy very, very closely in 3rd position. Mike Hopkins back here kind of rounding out the top 15 as we go through the field. Is everybody doing a little bit of conveyor belt action here at this point, kind of giving each other a lot of room, getting to know themselves around the racetrack, getting to know the racetrack here as well. There's Adam Henry in the number 62 car. Dropped a couple of spots from qualifying, but still up in the top 20. Our Sal TV's very own Ryan Salvatore back here in the number 12 car. He's got 17th position locked on up. He's got a little bit of a gap back to the 56 car rather of Beaulieu. Cody LeBlanc back here as well. There's Scott McDonald in the 44 car. Back behind him, Colby Burkholder. He's another one of the Rookie of the Year contenders for this season. DJ Gerard in the double lot having himself a run, just trying to break into the top 20 back here in 22nd. Austin Belkey lost a bunch of spots here, it looks like. Dropped 8 spots. Dan Winter back here as well, battling it out in the 81 car. They're 23rd, 24th. Both of the Ship brothers back here, a little side-by-side battle between Brian and Bobby for 25th and 26th. Jared Adam, Jeffrey Brown rounding out the field here, and it's still looking like everybody on the lead lap. But there you see Jeffrey Brown. He has got that leader coming right up on him. We'll take that wide angle shot, take a peek at it. There you can see the gap. So within the next handful of laps here, the number 43 and the number 27 in danger of going down a lap to our leader, Reagan Parent. Battling it out second half of the top 10 here. The 14 car of Zane Farrell had a solid run last week, surprising a lot of the fans, surprising us here in the production booth. Came home with a top 3 and had himself a solid run, trying to bring some of that momentum to IRP here this week. Gained a couple of spots. He's up 4 in the 12th position, trying to break himself into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Still has quite a bit of time to do it here, working lap number 37. He's got a little side-by-side battle going on up in front of him. That's Kibbe in the 4 car. Down to the bottom side, the 3 of U-House up top, trying to make that high side work. That 3 car currently holding on to that 10th position, and you can see a little bit of snaking down around through here. And how about that bright orange coming off of the racetrack here? We've got to get an onboard shot of one of these drivers. Let's go on board with the number 7 car. You can hear bouncing off the Rev chip. Easy enough for me to say as he gets back into the back or the end of the straightaways here. And that's how you know your car's handling right, because you're getting through the corner, you're able to carry all that momentum. Holy cow, look how bright that sunset is. That's going to be an issue for all of these drivers for the next 10, 15, maybe 20 laps or so as that sun continues to set here at the virtual IRP. So you might see some of these guys take a little bit extra precaution as they get down and around this speedway, especially when you get into the corner and you can't see what's going on in front of you because of that sun glare. So there's a little side-by-side battle there. Bowyer in the 56 trying to get around the 62 car of Adam Henry. Henry going up to the outside wall, almost gives it a little bit of a nudge, but he's going to tuck into the tire tracks there of the 56 car. They get it all sorted out. The 07 of Cody LeBlanc going to come down and take a spot away. Looks like he might have another door try and open up underneath the 56 of Bowyer. Those guys have a little bit of a view here. Here comes Hopkins in the 78 down underneath the 99 car of Daddio. Remember, Daddio came in 1 point behind the points leader, Ryan Messer, and he's got quite a bit of room to try and make up, or quite a bit of distance to try and make up if he's going to gain some points on that leader here tonight, or at least not lose any, because right now you're looking at 13 points between second place and 14th. So that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on here. Hopkins give it a little bit of a nudge to the 14 car, kind of booting Farrell up the racetrack just a little bit, just a friendly tap, just letting him know he's there. Going to take a shot down on the bottom side and see if he can take that 12th position away. Gives the opportunity for Casagrande in that 7 car to try and work on the back bumper of the 3. You see the 78 sending it on in there, trying to get something to stick down on the bottom side of the racetrack. But with Zane Farrell up in that middle to high groove, it kind of cuts some of the momentum down on the bottom side of the racetrack. This time by Hopkins going to go a little bit higher on the racetrack and get a nudge from the 99 in behind him. Sundrop car up into the outside wall. I believe indeed it's the number 13 of Jeffrey Bradway, and that Sundrop car going to get a little bit of damage. Looks like it have some connection issues for the number 13 there as well. There's a shot of the damage. Definitely caved in that right rear just a little bit. That's going to affect the handling for sure here. But we got to check in with the leader because it's starting to get a little bit tighter. Reagan Parent still holding on to it, but Ryan Messer has closed that gap to about 2.5 tenths of a second between he and Reagan Parent. And you can see as these tires start to wear, this may very well play in to Ryan Messer's hand. He knows that he knows these late models more than a lot of our drivers here in iRacing, because he races almost every night of the week, it seems like, here on VidaneTV. We'll take a look here once again. Best lap times, 22.11, 22.12 for Perrin and Messer. Last time by 22.4, 22.4. So again, 20 more laps, 26 more laps or so since we checked on those lap times, lost another 0.2 of a second. So with that kind of math, that's also going to be something that's really going to be playing into the strategies as we get further and further on into this one. Because remember, folks, we got 2 sets of tires down on pit road, and you can take them whenever you want. And right now, we haven't had any caution flags, so we haven't had anybody down on pit road. And you can see some of these drivers are able to kind of use the racetrack to their advantage. They're trying to kind of see what they can do with these used up tires. Some drivers doing it a little bit better than others. Some guys able to save their equipment just to get themselves kind of further up the track as the green flag laps dwindle down. But a lot of drivers seem to struggle with it here, and you'll see they kind of meet mid-pack, and that's what we're looking at right here, the second half of the top 10, and some drivers trying to break in to the top 10 here as well. Everybody's screaming for tires, and you're seeing there's a lot of 2x2 battles throughout the racetrack, and that's something that's pretty much been the story of the week here on VidaneTV is 8 tires. Well, they turn better than 4. There's that little 3 wide action. We haven't seen that in a while here at a little short track racing. Still 3 wide as they get on down into the corner. It looks like they're going to get it sorted out. Bowler in the 56 car up through the middle, trying to chase down the 14 of Zane Farrell. They do, in fact, get it sorted out. There's the 3 car looking in behind of Brandon Uhouse. The 12 car, Ryan Salvatore, up in the mix as well, having himself a solid run trying to break into that top 10. Up front, they get that distance sorted out in the 117 crew. You can see Reagan Perrin able to drive away once again, up to almost a full second lead over Ryan Messer, and a couple of cars have gone down a lap. Jeffrey Brown, Jared Adams, and Brian Shipp have all come to 1 lap down as they've gotten passed by our leader here. And Reagan Perrin really setting up a solid run here, 52 laps into this one, less than 100 laps to go, 98 laps to go, if my math serves me correctly. So, and we've made mention, every 20, 25 laps or so, these drivers drop at about 0.2 of a second from what they used to run or what their best lap was in any sense. So, gonna keep track on that, and if we do get a caution, I definitely feel like all of these drivers are gonna come down and get 4 tires. I think if we get some of these 20, maybe 10 lap runs, you might see somebody come down, try and get them the right side tires or even on the left-hand side, to see if they can gain just a little bit of an advantage. But at this point, 50, 60 plus laps into a run, you want to make sure you get 4 tires, and you want to get them on there as quickly as you can. We know these late model teams take a little bit of extra time to get those tires on the racetrack. It's not quite like a NASCAR Cup Series or a NASCAR Xfinity Series pit crew where they're in and out in a matter of seconds. It's going to take a little bit of time. So a lot of times what you'll see on these short tracks is drivers taking 2 tires, coming back down the next lap, taking the other 2 tires just so they don't go a lap down here. And in many cases, that's when we're able to kind of see which drivers are tuned in here to VidaneTV from inside the car, because we'll see that strategy play out. But as you see, working lap number 55, Reagan Perrin starting to come up on the back end of the field. He's got some lap traffic in front of him, and that's what Ryan Messer wanted to see. This is an opportunity for Messer to see if he can use some of those lap cars as a pick, because these guys are racing for position up in front of our leader. You can see going to go down on the low side. It's going to be Adam Henry is actually going to come down and take this opportunity. There's Uhouse in the 3 car. He's going to come down and get some tires here as well on lap 57. That's going to give him enough fuel to make it to the end. And if we do, in fact, stay green for the entirety of this thing, that's a good spot to be in. He's going to come down with a full tank, get himself a full tank of fuel, and potentially 4 tires. He's going to have an opportunity to put down 4 to 5 tenths of a second better lap times here until these leaders come down pit road. So you might very well see some of these leaders kind of have their hands forced to get themselves on pit road and get those tires hooked on up, and then save that final set for a little bit later on in this one, maybe with about 50, 60 laps to go. I think that's what you're going to be able to kind of utilize those tires the best. But right now, Perrin up front, you can see kind of working through this lap traffic in that 117 car, getting around a couple of cars as they make their pit stops. 22 drivers currently on the lead lap. There's the gap between first and second. Ryan Messer in the number 1 car, about half a second or so back in that second position. Ryan Libby back there in third. John Peters and Brent Roy, the top 5 as they run, potentially coming up on what could be our first round of green flag pit stops. The side-by-side action contact between the 56 of Bollier and Casagrande there in the 7. Farrell going to try and take advantage in the 14 car. Nope, going to think better of it, tuck back into the tire tracks of Casagrande in that 7 car. They get it all sorted out, but it's starting to get a little bit more difficult to handle these race cars as we get longer and longer into this run. You can see Hopkins back here in the 78 car running a little side-by-side battle with the 12 of Salvatore, who's down on the bottom side. Farrell going to take a look down on the inside of Casagrande there. That's going to be for the 12th and 13th position. The 78 holding on to that high side. Jeffrey Bradway going to come down pit road in the number 13 car, get some service to that machine. And again, we'll see what those lap times are going to look like after taking 4 fresh tires. And we'll see if it does, in fact, force the hand of these leaders, because the longer they stay out, the more time they could potentially lose to anybody that comes down to get those 4 fresh tires. So we'll see what happens here. We know that we'll take a look. It's been about another 20 laps or so. There you see, once again, another 2-3 tenths of a second, a 22.8 that time for Parent. So these guys are absolutely screaming for tires. There you see Parent looks like he maybe not so much off the pace, but Ryan Messer may have saved a little bit more in that number 1 car. And we are coming up on the halfway marker, about 10 laps away here in this one. So that's going to be another dog ear that these guys are going to be able to kind of put into the virtual notebook and keep in the back of their mind. Libby going to take a look down low in that 46 car, try to take second from Ryan Mess. We're seeing these guys kind of close the gap all the way back up. You can see the 48 car is Ship going a lap down after coming down pit road. Hopkins going to give up that top 12. He's going to get some tires on that 78 machine. Reagan Parrott, though, he's got a mirror full of a couple of drivers, and he's still got a windshield full of lap traffic working lap number 66. There you see the 44 of Scott McDonald in the Sundrop ride. The 117 going to go all the way up to the outside wall, bring Metzler with him to try and get through. Libby going to take that opportunity to try and get down to second. Once again, a huge run for Metzler up on the high side, though, in that number 1 car. They're almost 3 wide for the lead. A little bit of contact there. Metzler just up into the bumper of Parent, letting him know he's there. You can see Metzler swinging it up into the high side. Oh, up into the outside wall just a little bit for the one that's going to knock us some momentum off. The 46 of Libby is down underneath the leader. He's going to take the lead with ease here at this point. Slide right on up in front of the 117. The 48 car of Ship, he's trying to get his lap back the hard way here at this venture here in lap number 68. He's got 4 fresh tires. He went a lap down because he came down pit road under green, and you can see these guys still battling it out between Messer and Parent, but this is now for second. They're chasing down Ryan Libby. Well, they're trying to chase down Ryan Libby, but he's driving off into the sunset. That's a driver who definitely knows how to save in the 46 car. You can see after watching those drivers battle for the entirety of the race, he's going to take the lead here on lap number 69. Nice in that 46 car. He's just going to kind of let the 48 go. He knows that he's trying to get his lap back, trying to get back on the lead lap and hope for a caution here at some point or another. But we've been clean and green so far in this one. There you see John Peters in the 09 car. He's the next car that's going to try and come up around and take a position. That 09 car still hasn't gotten tires, still out on pit road, just able to save a little bit more, as it looks like. He's going to get down and around underneath the 46 car and see if he can get himself the lead. He's going to go up, give him a little bit of a high five on the door, and completes the pass. John Peters to the point, and Reagan Parent's had enough. He's going to come down and get those tires here on lap number 71. And we made mention, once you hit the halfway mark at 75 on the same set of tires, you know, hey, I made it 75 laps, I can make it the second 75. I know how hard I can push the car. When you come down a little bit shy of that halfway marker, you've got that bit of unknown. But Reagan Parent's going to be able to come back out on the racetrack and run about a second quicker per lap. So the rest of these leaders absolutely going to be coming down pit road here very, very shortly. We're going to keep a close eye on that number 117 car as we focus on with the new leader, the reigning defending 3-time series champion, John Peters in that 09 car up on the point for the time being. During this round of green flag pit stops, Corey Casagrande in the 7 car going to be the next driver to come down and get some service on that number 7 machine. John Peters still staying out on track. Libby, Messer, Roy, and Kibbe, the top 5 as they run. And oh, calamity as ensues. The 12 car, black smoke pumping out of that. That's going to shake things up in a big way because we had a bunch of drivers come down pit road already. A bunch of drivers that still have to pit. We're going to find out what went on here and what brought out the caution here on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. We'll rewind the tapes and take a peek and see what went down with that number 12 car, and we can see very, very much off the pace here after the little bit of calamity that looks like he got into it with the 29 car. We'll take a peek here from the chopper view. There you see the 12 of Salvatore going to peek down low on the number 29. I believe that's Jeffrey Brown in the 29 car. Here's the 117 coming off a pit road, and it looks like a couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate there. At that point, you can see the black smoke coming out of the 29 car as well. No quick repairs, no quick resets here this evening. So the 12 and the 29, or the 39 rather, Dunskies for the evening. And as you can see, the 12 car just kind of driving around the track here at this point, seeing if he can get back to pit road. But everybody down on pit road at this point. Couple of drivers electing to stay out. There's Ryan Libby, the right side jacked up on the 46 car. We'll see if it's 2. We'll see if it's 4. 2 tires stop for Peters. There he goes. The 09 car down and away. Brent Roy, same deal there. Ryan Libby's going to get 4. Ricker's going to get 2 tires. There goes the 6, I believe, of Johnny Miller. Ryan Messer down and away. Kibbe down and away. The 46 car appears to be, it might be the 4 car, might be the first car with 4 fresh tires on that one. Belke stays out to lead himself a lap. Zane Farrell, Cody LeBlanc, Ryan Salvatore, they're all going to come down pit road here as well, get some service, get some tires, take their time, get some of that damage repaired here. And there you see Salvatore in the 12 car still pumping out that black smoke there. So we'll see if he's able to get that thing fixed enough to get back out on track. But we're 1 lap past the halfway marker, and as it cycles on through, it appears that the 09 car of John Peters is going to cycle on through with the lead. We'll give him a couple of laps to kind of get everything sorted out with timing and scoring. This is the first caution here of the evening in the Lord Spotting Services 150 here at the virtual Lucas Oil IRP Raceway, Indy Raceway Park. I knew that. I didn't have to look it up. I knew what it was. I had to look it up. It's been a long time since we've been here on VidaneTV. 3rd time NEP series has been here. First time this season that we visited this virtual racetrack here at VidaneTV. And you can see the 09 car of Peters having himself a solid run, working lap number 77. One to green as the iRacing pace car shuts those lights off. We let the lap traffic get down and around, take that wave by here as well. 15 cars going to be on the lead lap after that round of green flag pit stops. Caution flag came out kind of halfway through. It jumbled up the field quite a bit. John Peters, Brent Roy, after 2 tire stops, they are up front. John Miller, 2 tires there as well. Jason Ricker, I believe, took 2 tires. Ryan Messer, Ryan Libby back in 5th and 6th. Steve Daddio, he's moved his way up to 7th. He's in that top 10. He's points racing here tonight. And looks like we're going to get that start waved off for a lap. The pace car going to regather the field. We'll get them re-racked, restacked, and we'll go green next time. Bye. good opportunity to remind everybody, not that anybody needs a reminder, but it is flipping cold outside, especially here in southern New England where we're based out of here at VidaneTV HQ. And it reminds me, I got to get my new beanie ordered. VidaneTV beanies available at Vidane.net. We've got sweatshirts over there as well. We'll keep you nice and warm throughout these remaining winter months and into the spring as well. I'd love to be able to show up at Stafford Speedway for the Spring Sizzler, be able to look out into the crowd, into the campground, and see a bunch of VidaneTV t-shirts and sweatshirts. But man, oh man, Green Flag Racing once again. Rickert right off the shot. Going to try and take a peek down low on Peters. Not quite anything there. Going to tuck into the tire tracks, tuck into that slipstream, and see if he can learn a thing or two from the three-time reigning series champ. He's going to slide into third. Brent Roy going to hold on to that second spot right now, but make sure you remember the top four drivers only took two tires on that stop, and you can see already the 46 of Libby, the 1 of Messer, the 4 of Kibbe, those guys all took 4 tires. They're down to the bottom side of the racetrack and really utilizing as much grip as they can with these 4 fresh tires. They know that once we get about 20 laps in, everything is going to kind of even out as far as 2 to 4 tires. So they need to use that speed now. They need to be able to take advantage and try and get up to the lead and see if they can hold on to it here for the second half of this one. Working lap number 82. A little bit of calamity in the back of the pack. It looks like we're going to stay clean and green. The front 6 or 8 cars, a little single file action, a little double wide here for the second half of the top 10. As you take a peek, you can see the 56 of Bollier trying to make the bottom side work, chasing down the 99 of Daddio. Daddio has figured this car out. He's up to 6th here at this point. That second place points driver definitely got 4 tires. You can see right now he can look over to his right hand side, and now on the left hand side he can see that points lead is within a point, within striking distance. Messer down on the bottom side, Ricker there in the 9 car. The 99 going to go up to the high side and see if he can get around that point leader, and that would be the championship lead if the 99 was able to get around that 1 car for the or on the racetrack. So you know Daddio's going to be racing a little bit harder at this point, but you got to stay smart here as well. Bright red gloves on this driver. You can see really sawing on the windshield, on the steering wheel as we ride on board with Steve Daddio, and he's gained 14 spots to get up to this 5th position. And one of the things we're seeing, after some of the drivers came down for 2 tires, some of the drivers came down for 4, we're not seeing anybody able to pull away here at this point until we see Libby get around these front 2 cars. I think that 46 car is definitely hooked up, got right sides, got left sides, got a little bit of the damage worked on here on the 46 car, and it is shaped like a bullet down on the bottom side of the racetrack, really making that 46 car work for him, because we know these drivers are a little bit more comfortable, especially on the older tires up middle of the groove, or the middle groove on up to the high groove. So Libby working a little bit extra harder down on that bottom side to try and make the magic happen and get up towards the front before those tires wear off just a little bit. You can see trying to do the old Stafford Speedway trick, utilizing that apron to kind of de-wedge the car and get it to turn just a little bit better. Hard off the throttle, easing on into it. And there you can see that sun glare that we saw at turn 4 earlier on is non-existent. Oh no, trouble! The 46 car, as we're riding on board with him, hard right turn into the outside wall. Caution flag gonna fly. Little commentary curse, as it seems. Ryan Libby up into the outside wall, gonna call for a tow truck. The 46 car might very well be done for the evening, but you bet your bottom dollar we are absolutely gonna back that up and take a peek and find out what went on to get that 46 car to turn right. And as we back it up on the tape, here's that side-by-side battle we were looking at between the 46 of Libby and the 1 car of Ryan Messer. And up here in the chopper view, they get down into it. There's the 99 of Daddio up there in behind as well. 46 down on the apron, everything looking A-OK, drifts up just a bit. Looks like the 99 gets up into the outside wall a little bit. Everything looking A-OK there. Really tough to see. 46 car, there's plenty of distance there, plenty of room. Aha, here it is. The 9 and the 46 kind of going for the same piece of real estate. Spotters might not have been paying attention there. And as soft of a hit as that 46 car took into the outside wall, that's going to do a lot of damage to these late models. So that's a tough break for Ryan Libby as running up towards the top 10, towards the top 3 even. Definitely going to be a contender earlier on, and this one done for the evening. So Getting dark here at IRP. 60 laps left to go in this one. The Lord Spotting Service is 150. Once again, we're live all over the internet. We're on Facebook for the VidaneTV page as well as the NEP series page. We're over on the VidaneTV YouTube page. We're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/strictly94. And we're trying to get live on TikTok. We've been trying to get our followers up to 1,000 because that way we can go live on the TikTok. And we're going to use that for a little bit different style here when we go live at VidaneTV. That's going to be the behind-the-scenes camera. You'll be able to see me yelling into the microphone and smashing all these buttons down in the production trailer and see what kind of goes in to setting up one of these broadcasts here on VidaneTV. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you give us the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all that good stuff, because A, it lets us know that you're entertained, and B, well, it lets the algorithm know that you're entertained as well, and it gets us out there to the folks on the internet. We'll take a peek as we go through here, getting down to the final third of this race. John Peters in the 09 car holding on to the lead. Brent Roy there in second. Both those drivers took 2 tires on that last stop, the one pit stop that we've had so far here tonight. And that's one thing we're going to have to keep in mind here as well. All these drivers do, in fact, have one more set of tires down on pit road. Ryan Messer in the 1 car coming into the night. Points leader, 1 point behind the guy that's 1 position behind him on the track. Steve Daddio is in the 4th place. Another thing to keep in mind, Brent Roy, he was only 5 points behind in 3rd in the points. He's running 2nd, just to give you an idea how tight these points are going to be at the end of this one. Be sure to follow along till the end of the show here. Evan Bollier having a solid run after that pit stop just a few laps ago. He's up to the 5th position. Jason Ricker in the 9 car currently in 6th. John Miller, Kenny Kibbe in the 6 and 4. They're running 7th and 8th. Cody LeBlanc, Zane Farrell rounding out the top 10. Austin Belke there in 11th. Colby Burkholder, Reagan Parent in the 117 car back in 13th. Mike Hopkins in the 78 car rounding out the 15 drivers that are on the lead lap. Corey Casagrande going to be the first car 1 lap down as we get ready to take the green flag here. And it looks like there's a handful of drivers towards the back of the pack that may have come down and taken their 2nd set of tires down on pit road. We made mention we're using a full fuel load here, 135 laps. You're able to make it. Don't believe fuel is going to be an issue in this one. The way the pit stops have fallen, tire wear absolutely going to be a factor for sure. The 09, the 26 get the green flag. It's a drag race down into turn number 1, but Peters going to take the advantage down the bottom side. The 26 kind of holds onto the middle groove there and loses a little bit of momentum. Ryan Messer going to tuck into the tire tracks. They get it all sorted out here in the front 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, all about single file. Kenny Kibbe there in the 4 car, John Miller in the 6. Now we're getting a little dicey, getting a little side-by-side action. The 56 has a front row view of Ricker in the 9 car trying to take a peek underneath Daddio, but Daddio has his hands full trying to get this points lead, trying to get around the 1 car of Ryan Messer, and that is a tall order to do in any of these races here on VidaneTV, as Messer won the NEP race last week, and he won this late model race here Monday night as well. So tall order on the docket, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see where these guys go. There you see him, Daddio dipping down low on a 1 car. Going to see if he can get up at least to the door. Little bit of a wiggle, though. Going to have to tuck back into the tire tracks, gather his thoughts, and try it again. Well, he didn't even gather his thoughts that time. Shot right back down on there and tried to get up to the 1 car. All the while, they're not losing much time to that 2nd place car of Brent Roy. He's trying to focus himself on the back bumper of Peters, and you got to wonder how long before these tires start to wear out. We saw earlier on 20 laps in or so, you lose about 0.2 of a second per lap. So as these drivers know, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the show. They're going to be racing a little bit more aggressively. You can see Reagan Parent making moves back there with those 4 fresh tires on the 117 car. That's the black and bright orange car. Easy to see from the space station almost. Great colors, great looking car there for the 117. He's going to get around the high side of Johnny Miller and hold on to that 8th spot. Remember, the 117 restarted back in 15th. He got those 4 fresh tires. The 2nd set down on pit road. He's going to go up and give the 4 car a high five with the side of the door, but he's going to try and get around Kenny Kibbe and then set his sights on Evan Bollier up in front of him in that 56 car. So with 50 laps to go, if this thing stays green, Reagan Parent going to be one to watch in that 117. 56 car up at the outside wall in a big way. We caught just the tail end of it off the speed camera. We stay green. Zane Farrell going to try and get down to take advantage here as well. A little bit of a bobble again for the 56. The 14 getting a piece of it as well. And you can see he's kind of drifting up the high side of the racetrack. Something definitely might be amiss with the handling of the 56. You can see big wiggle there. Ooh, gets into the 7 car just a little bit. Connection issue for Bollier in that 56. I know there's some storms, some winds, and all sorts of cold and nastiness all throughout New England. Might be a factor in that connection issue for the 56. We'll see how that plays out throughout the rest of this one. And you can see up front, still tight with these top 4 drivers kind of able to pull away just a little bit. Peters, Roy Messer, and Daddio. And it's crazy to see. You've got the reigning defending 3-time series champion leading this thing. Second, third, and fourth are the top 3 in points coming in tonight, and they came in separated by 5 points between first and third. Daddio coming in second. He's 1 point behind Ryan Messer, who's right in front of him on the racetrack. Brent Roy came in third in points, 5 behind Ryan Messer. He's in second right now. So the points battle very, very tight here at IRP. Gonna get even tighter as the night goes on. You can see the Ricker machine has some damage a little bit further on back in that 9 car. And that 117 car is coming. Reagan Parent very quick here. Qualified on the pole here in this one. Has won himself quite a few short track races here in the NEP series. He's going to make quick work, I think, of that 9 car Ricker, especially with that damage up on the right front. Then he's going to try and set his sights on these front 4 cars. He's got a little bit of a gap to maybe do some study and see what those guys do. And we'll see. He's got 45 laps to get there. A little bit of time in the 117. You can see he has to check up just a little bit, because he in the 9 car going for that same piece of real estate. Good heads-up driving for Reagan Parent in that black and yellow machine. He's setting his sights now on the back bumper of Daddio, and you can see that's the gap. Front 4 cars have themselves about 4, 5, maybe 6 car lengths between them and that new leader of that second pack, Reagan Parent. You can see just how quickly he's able to close in. Take a peek at that timing and scoring tower there on the left-hand side of your screen, especially getting down into the exits of the corner, really able to kind of close up. But at this point, we've run probably another 20 laps or so since we put tires, or since Reagan Parent put tires on that car, and he's worked his way all the way up. He's driven by 10 more race cars here at this point. Restarted back in 15th after coming down for those 4 fresh tires, and restarted back at the end of the pack, drove his way up under green flag conditions to that 5th position. He's got his sights set right now on the back bumper once again at Daddio in the 99 car. That's the distance that you can see, and he's really starting to close that gap once again, using that bottom side of the racetrack to try and get himself just a little bit closer, because he knows that once these drivers start to really utilize or use up their tires, they're not going to be able to hold on to the car down on the bottom side and be quick about it. You can see as we get further on into the run, these drivers kind of drift up the racetrack a little bit. We'll take a peek on board if we can, as you can see that 117 really sawing on the wheel, just getting right up to almost the back bumper now of the 99, bouncing off that rev limiter as he gets down into the corner, sends it on in, smooth sailing, probably one of the smoothest sets of hands we've seen here at IRP so far this evening. And you can hear just how well that car's handling. He is bouncing that thing off the chip. Lots of power in the old power plant of the 117, and there you see he's closed that gap. He's there. He's on the back bumper of the 99 car at this point, and that's going to be something the front 4 cars are all going to be looking in their rear view mirror. They know the 117 is fast as it is, but now he's got fresh tires. He's got fresher tires than everybody up in the top 4. And oh, by the way, he just drove through the field. He passed 10, 11, 12 cars to put himself back into the top 5 to try and battle it out for a victory here at IRP. Daddio sliding up the track just a little bit. Going to open the door briefly for the 117. Takes a peek, but nothing there. Tucking into the tire tracks once again for the parent machine. And now you can see there are 5 cars in the battle for the lead. They're all trying to chase down John Peters. And we made mention John Peters leading this thing in that 09 car. Reigning, defending 3-time series champion. Second, third, and fourth on track right now. Well, they're the top 3 drivers in points. And it's crazy to think that it's that tight as we come into it. Ryan Messer coming home with the victory last Monday night, or last Thursday night, coming home with a victory here this past Monday as well. And looks like we might have some connection issues ourselves here in the HQ. So we'll get that all sorted out, and we will rejoin some green flag racing here momentarily. Technical difficulties happen every now and again, but luckily we got it all sorted out, we think. Here at VidaneTV HQ, rejoining the green flag racing, 27 laps to go. Still Peters up front, still Brent and Roy in second, still Messer and Daddio third and fourth. Kenny Kibbe back there in fifth. Reagan Parent still in sixth. Jason Ricker in the seventh position. Cody LeBlanc, Johnny Miller, and Zane Farrell now in the top 10 here. And getting down to the closing laps in this one, we're going to find out if that 117 has used up the tires here at this point. He was able to get all the way up to the fifth and sixth position on those new fresh tires as he came down pit road, but doesn't look like he's got enough momentum to get up unless he's saving here at this point. You can kind of see he's dropping back just a little bit to see if he can potentially save a little bit for the final closing laps here at this point, especially if we get a restart. That's going to be an opportunity to really get someone up towards the front of the pack that may have not been there throughout the evening. The Ford car going to take a peek down low now on Daddio to see if he can get that position. There's a great shot looking on back to Kibbe from the Daddio machine. That 117 car, he's up in the mix here as well. 25 laps to go. Sorry about the hiccup there, folks. Not even really sure what happened. iRacing just decided to stop. And I think it's got something to do with the member site going bye-bye. We need to bring that member site back. Everybody loves the member site. We're going to race the member site. People love the member site, right? How about it? John Peters still holding on to the lead. He's going to get around the 56 car of Evan Bollier. It may have come down pit road to try and get some tires. Looks like he's got some damage on that 56 car as well. Not looking, big time damage there on the right-hand side as we take a look at the correct monitor here at HQ. Peter's still holding on to it. He's got about a car length over the 26 car of Brent Roy. Brian Messer up in the mix as well. Those front three, they've kind of pulled away just a little bit. There's a gap between third and fourth, and Daddio, we made mention, 1 point behind the leader of Ryan Messer, who's up in front of him. Tight points battle coming into the night. It's going to be even tighter when we leave the Lucas Oil Raceway Park here this evening, and you can see the 4-car trying to close into the back bumper, and the 117 dropping back a bit, it looks like. A little side-by-side action as Bollier gets down and around, or up on the high side, trying to hold on to being the first car one lap down as it looks, but Perrin going to drop all the way back. Lots of track position lost there, it looks like, for the 117, and you can see going to be a bit of an uphill battle here with 22 laps to go to try and chase these top 5 down. Once again, you got to figure with this many laps on that set of tires, they may very well be as worn out as everyone else is here at IRP. There's a great wide-angle shot of just how much of a lead Peters has over that 26 car. He's been around this track a time or two and got himself many wins, most winningest driver here in the NEP series, and he's showing us why here. With 20 laps to go, the 09 car leads the 26 of Brent Roy. Heating up just a little bit for that 4th and 5th spot. The 4-car right up to the back bumper of the 99 at Daddio. Gave him a little bit of a tap to let him know that it was there. Backed up just enough. Going to see if he can get himself a bit of a run. He's going to try and drop back and see how long it's going to take him to close up that gap. There you see him trying it again, getting into the corner. It seems like the 4-car's got a little bit better entry than the 99 car. Going to drop back once again here on exit. And you can see, that time the 99 hammers it on down in there. Going to try and see if he can get that points position, that points paying position from Ryan Messer in the 3rd spot. And that's just, it's wild to see after 9 races here, race number 10 in the NEP season, that there's 5 points separating the top 3 drivers. And oh, by the way, they're chasing down the 3-time reigning defending series champion of John Peters up in the front of the pack with 18 laps to go. Been a heck of a race so far here tonight for the Lord Spotting Services 150 at the virtual Lucas Oil Speedway. Got to thank everybody once again for tuning in. We're live all over the internet. We're on Facebook for the VidaneTV page as well as the NEP series page. We're over on Twitch. Strictly94 is the username for that. We're on the YouTube as well. The YouTube is pretty cool because you can pull it up on a smart TV, a tablet, a cell phone, whatever you may have hooked up in the shop, the garage, wherever you may be tuned in here on a Thursday night. Always punch in VidaneTV live on the YouTube app and it'll pop right up. Crank that volume knob up and let everybody know you're watching some entertaining iRacing action here on a Thursday night. And you can see Ryan Messer now all over the back bumper of the Camry kid. Going to see if he can get himself a second place here at this point. And not only is he going to get himself a position on the racetrack, but that is a super valuable point over both Daddio, who's right behind him, and Brent Roy, who's now, right now it would be a 4-point gap between Brent Roy and Ryan Messer from first on back to third. If we were to end the race right here, we'll see where these three drivers in the top three finish in regards to each other to see what the points look like after this. You'll be able to shoot on over to the NEP Series Facebook page to catch up with all that. RSal TV doing a fantastic job keeping up with the points and all the statistics throughout the evening. A little side-by-side battle now. Kenny Kibbe going to get on up and shake hands with the door handle of the number 99 car. You can see that high sign really able to utilize the grip on the high groove of the racetrack. Kibbe going to try and move up to the middle, not quite force the issue in the 99 car, but he sees he's got that lap car up in front. That's going to be the 27 machine of Jeffrey Brown. He's going to go down a lap here, down on the bottom side of the racetrack. We still stay side by side for that fourth position. Daddio up on the high side in the 99. He came in 1 point behind the point leader, and this is going to be tough. That's going to add, if the 4 car is able to get around, that's going to be 1 more point back. The 99 car is going to be from Ryan Messer. Still a solid points night overall for the 99 team of Steve Daddio, but every single point matters here in the NEP Series, especially when we're this tight after 9, after 10 races. 11 laps to go now. They're all still trying to chase down the reigning defending series champion, John Peters. He's up front by about 2/10 over the 26. Ten laps to go as they cross the stripe. Peters holding on. Camry kid of Brent Roy in second. Ryan Messer third. Still side by side for that fourth position. Kenny Kibbe trying to take it away down on the bottom side of the racetrack. They're still side by side between Kibbe and Daddio. The 99 car trying to make that high side work. You can see really able to drive it in deep on entry, but Kibbe able to drive off hard on the exit. But as is the 99 car, it's going to be a 9-lap drag race to find out who's going to finish in this fourth position. Kibbe has it all sorted out down on the bottom side, but Daddio able to hold on the high side. Everything looking A-okay. I believe they came down pit road at the same time, so they've got the same tires here at this venture in the race. Coming to the stripe, though, 8 laps to go. Give the position to Kibbe, but for how long? The 99 still charging on that high side. Going to drop back a little bit that time by on the corner entry. But watch how hard the 99 is able to drive off unless the 4 gets up in front of him. Not quite there. There's the run from the 99 car. It's all for naught. Caution flag flies for the third time here tonight with 8 laps to go. This is going to get interesting. To focus in on the John Miller machine, the number 6 gets a little bit of help, it looks like, from the 78 of Hopkins up into the outside fence. That is a big hit, it looks like. A couple more hits. Those cars are actually stuck together. They get them pulled apart there to drive away. And we'll take another peek at it from a little bit closer. There you can see the 6 gets up close to the 9 car, comes back down. Kind of going for the same piece of real estate there at that point. The 78 goes up. I don't want to say gives them a shot, but we'll have to back that up because we saw Hopkins break into the top 10 here, and we'll take a peek on the onboard racing view. Great shot of the bright red glove. Always cool to see when these drivers put these gloves on. You can see held that thing straight up until the car went sideways, so trying to hold on to it. Some big damage for the 78 car. Looks like he's going to stay out on track, though, for this one. Try and take advantage of the track position here, and we'll see what goes on. Peters, Roy, Messer up in the top 3. There you see Kenny Kibbe in 4th. Steve Daddio back to 5th. Zane Farrell, he's having another good run, sneaking on up. He's in the 6th position. John Miller, there you see the 6th car. And in the 7th spot, Mike Hopkins currently in 8th. Points Rookie of the Year contender this season, Colby Burkholder, he's back here in 9th. Austin Belke going to round out the top 10. Reagan Parent back to 11th after dropping through the field here a few laps ago. Corey Casagrande, Jason Ricker. Here you see Dan Winter, 14 cars on the lead lap. Couple other drivers still on the lead lap, but down on pit road, there you see the right side getting jacked up on the number 3 of the U-House machine. There's at 62 of Adam Henry. Same deal there. Going to get some tires. Looks like a 2-tire stop for U-House. May very well be a 2-tire stop for the 62 car. Nope, going to be 4 tires for Adam Henry. Bobby Ship going to drive off as well in the 04 car. Looks like 4 tires for him. Jared Adams, 4 cars for that 43, 4 tires rather, for that 43 car. Easy enough for me to say. We're looking up in the flag stand. Bubbles is telling us 5 to go. High five from Bubbles up in the flag stand. Got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. It has been one heck of a show here for the Lord Spotting Services 150 here at the virtual Lucas Oil Raceway Park here at the IRP Raceway. Thanks for tuning in. It's been great. Again, give us the likes, the subscribes, the shares, the follows, all that good stuff on the Facebook page, on the YouTube page, over on Twitch, over on TikTok. And oh, by the way, if you're cold, shoot on over to www.vidane.net. Grab yourself a VidaneTV hooded sweatshirt. We've got the beanies over there. They've got the little pom-pom things on there. If you don't like the pom-poms, you can do what I usually do and just kind of knife that thing off and throw it at the cat or something. And it's a cool. It keeps your face warm. It keeps your head and ears warm. And you also get a cat toy out of it. How cool is that? I believe they're $25 over the virtual VidaneTV merchandise hauler. Again, www.vidane.net. Will help keep you warm in these remaining cold months. 1 to go here at IRP. We're going to line them up 2 by 2 and get ourselves one of those authentic green-white checkered attempts, and we will see if we're going to take this thing all the way to the checkered flag. Down on the bottom side, John Peters. Up on the top side, the 26 of Brent Roy, Ryan Messer, Kenny Kibbe, and Zane Farrell going to be the top 5 as they take the restart. Daddio, Miller, Hopkins, Belke, and Burkholder up in the top 10. We are lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. We're coming to the green flag, coming to popsicle sticks. Going to be 2 laps to go once we cross the stripe. Who's coming home with the bragging rights and the hardware here from the virtual IRP? Pace car down on the safety of pit road. We wait for the green flag, and there we go. Fantastic restart from the 09 of John Peters. Able to pull away by just a little bit. Driving on down into the corner. Driving on down into the sunset. Here comes Ryan Messer, though, in that one car. Another master of the restart. He's going to try and get himself second place. The Canadians duking it out for P2. They're both trying to chase down John Peters in the 09 car. Coming to the white flag, white rag, 1 lap to go for Peters in the 09 car. Camry Kid right in behind him with Brent Roy, trying to close the gap. Not quite enough time, though. As you can see, Peters just has to hit its marks here in 3 and 4. One final time. Brent Roy going to do everything he can. Going to dive on in there. Kenny Kibbe going to dive on in for third to see if he can get down and around John Peters, or Ryan Messer rather, for third, but not quite enough momentum. And there you see it. John Peters in the 09 car going to come home with the victory. Brent Roy going to come home in second. Ryan Messer third. Kenny Kibbe and Steve Daddio going to round out the top 5. Zane Farrell just on the outside in 6. Mike Hopkins, solid run, P7. Reagan Parent regained some spots back up to the 8th spot. Austin Belke 9th. Jason Ricker going to be the driver in 10th place. And they all came to IRP to try and beat this guy. And this guy showed why he's the reigning defending champion here 3 times over in the NEP series. John Adams, holy cow, it's been a long night. John Peters coming home with the victory, and we're going to talk to these top 3 drivers here momentarily, and we're going to talk to Peters right now because we know this guy's excited, coming home with yet another victory. A little bit of a shortened season, missing a couple races early on. You come into tonight 5th in points, and you win the race. What does that tell everybody else that's gunning for this championship?
That's a good question. If I could stop finishing 20th every other week, it might tell them more, but I'm just happy to get a win. I had no idea what to expect with this racetrack. I have only ever run here in cars not named late model stock, so I just did my normal strategy deal like I try to do in a lot of these races and save tires, and the last 4 of these late model stock races, that's burned me, and tonight that happened to work out in my favor, so I guess it all comes out in the wash. But that was a fun strategy race there. Not a whole lot of variability in speed. We're all running real close together, so it's just about track position and saving tires in that first run, and came home with a win.
And answer the next question here for us. What was the strategy getting into this one? We talked to a lot of the drivers. Seemed like it was kind of a cheese grater surface that was going to be eating up tires throughout the night. Is that something that you guys knew getting into this one?
I just tend to expect that with really every race we run, but these cars have been a little bit tough to figure out. I think some tracks have been different than others, where some wear out really hard, but I did the same thing at Thompson and never really saw the benefit for saving. So I really had no idea what to expect. I started the race behind my teammate, Jason Rickard. He's really good in these cars, runs them all the time. And I just matched his pace, and we were really keeping the entries backed up. and I actually thought we let the leaders get way too far ahead. But all of a sudden we hit lap 50 or so, and they kind of fell off a cliff, and I just kept running the same lap times, and it worked out. So I guess you could say we played the strategy right. It was kind of a guess, but I'll take it because it hasn't worked out much for me this year.
And a familiar paint scheme on that 09 car with GNG's gift on the quarter panel there. Big weekend up in Maine. Talk to us. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was awesome. We announced our third winner of GNG's gift. Congrats to Kate Ray and her family. Just great to see everybody, and honored to be doing that program now for 3 years. We've given away a lot of money and appreciate everyone who supported us, including you, Paul, for giving us a chance to talk about it. So honored to rep the colors this year. We're hoping to do some fundraising throughout the summer and do it for a fourth time.
Absolutely, and the chats are blowing up. Lots of John Peters in the crowd. Who else is out there watching? Who else gets you to and from the virtual racetrack here on Thursday nights?
Well, I appreciate my wife and my 2 dogs for letting me do this, and my mom and Patty and everybody who watches, you guys for putting the broadcasts on. Thanks to NEP, Lord Spotting Services for sponsoring tonight, and all of our supporters and people who tune in. We'll be back at it 1 week from tonight. Actually, also shout out this weekend, 229's running the 24 Hours of Daytona. You can catch us live on Twitch from Evan Bollier and John Miller. So if you happen to be bored on a Friday night, which is usually the case for me, tune in. You'll get to see some things and hear some things you probably never have before.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what we're doing here at VidaneTV for the 24-hour Daytona race this weekend. But in any sense, we will get all these team pages lined up on Facebook. We'll get all linked up. That way some folks can tune in. There's a lot of action that goes on in those races. And like you said, a lot of colorful language as well. So viewer discretion always advised. But, John, great run here tonight. Chalking up another check in the W column here in the NEP series. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Good to talk to you guys as always.
Absolutely. Going to slide on back a little bit further down pit road. Brent Roy coming home in second. That Camry Kid number 26 car. Looks like you're battling it out for the championship here.
Hey, we just approach each race as an individual race where you just try to get the best result you can, and we just come up one spot short. I think Johnny saved his tires a little bit better than us, and we just didn't have anything for him at the end, so congrats to those guys over there.
We talked about it time and time again throughout the race here tonight. Reigning and defending 3-time series champion. We'll say that 27 times fast. John Peters leading this race. The top 3 guys in points running second, third, and fourth. Is that something you were kind of aware of as we got with about 50 laps to go in this?
Sitting with like 50, 40, 30 laps to go. I was just hoping it was going to go green to the end because on a late race restart, you don't know what happens. So I was pretty content to run where we're at. And I think it was like 15 to go, 20 to go. John started either turning it up or Ryan started kind of falling back. I'm not really sure which one. So I just stayed with John, and I was hoping, I was watching the gaps, and I didn't know what was happening behind me. I didn't really care. I was just more focused on where I could set up the 09 for a potential pass that would not end both of our nights, sort of thing. So it didn't work out, but happy to have 229 and 1-2 and kind of third place. Ryan's our satellite teammate, so happy for those guys.
Yeah, solid run here tonight. Got to give you an opportunity. Who's out there watching? Who gets you to and from the virtual track? What are your plans for this weekend for the 24-hour?
So big thanks to my fiance that lets me do this. She looks after the kids and the dog and all that stuff while I'm doing this stuff. So that's big thanks to her. My parents and my sister always tune in and watch on Facebook, and all the between my fans and the Ryan fans, all the Canadians. So we represented pretty well with second and third. So big shout out to those guys and all the Speedway 660 fans. Thanks to Lord Spotting Services for sponsoring this race. I know we would have been probably 3 laps down to him if he was on the track, but that's okay. And thanks to Corey and the guys over at NEP for putting this league together. It's a lot of fun, and you guys for broadcasting it. It's a lot of fun. So this weekend we head to the 24s. We start tomorrow, I think, at 5 p.m. your guys' time, 6 p.m. here. My first stint in the car is like, I think 10 o'clock. And then I get the 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. graveyard shift. So it's my favorite night in all of sim racing. I just sit and do laps in the middle of the night in the dark all by myself. Everybody's asleep, and I just do my thing. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun. We'll see what we can manage here on VidaneTV. But a solid run here tonight. Getting real exciting with that points battle tightening up. Great run here tonight, Brent. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything you guys do.
Absolutely. And last but not least, we're going to end up having to get in touch with Ryan Salvatore with RSal TV because we know we can pretty much assume that John Peters has probably the most wins and the most podium finishes and interviews here in the NEP series. But this guy, VidaneTV's Rocket Man, has been in the podium, I think, in every league we've ever broadcasted. Won last week, won this past Monday night, third place here tonight. Ryan Messer, talk to us, man.
Yeah, it's good to be talking to you again. That usually means that we had a good finish, so I'll definitely take them whenever I can get them. Yeah, it was a pretty good race there. Got pretty close at the end, but just kind of burnt that first setup and really started to struggle by the halfway point. But luckily we got a yellow, so we got some 4 fresh tires, and then she went a little better after that. So we just tried to save a bit towards the end, but even then I think I kind of used up the right front a little bit, so I couldn't quite keep up with John and Brent. So congrats to them. Just another good, solid points day, and move on to the next one.
Absolutely. Points contention closing up. Points battle getting real tight up towards the top. Coming into tonight as the points leader. I believe going to leave as the points leader, but holy moly, is it going to be tight with Brent Roy gaining a point, Steve Daddio maybe losing a point or two as he finished in 5th. So what's kind of the strategy here is at this point? Is it just pretty much get in there and rack off some top 3 finishes?
Basically, yeah, just many podiums as you can get. Just try to be consistent. You come to tracks like this, it's very crucial to give and take at the right times, and you just got to try to finish as many laps as you can, and try to be there by the end of the season. Try not to pay too much attention to it, but it's got to float in the back of your mind a little bit too.
1,000%. Be kind of cool to see that one car get the championship here in the NEP series for sure. There's lots of fans out there in the chat. Who's out there watching? Who gets it done for you here at the virtual racetrack?
As always, my family and friends are probably watching on the broadcast, so thank them for tuning in, and always like to follow along with these things. The NEP guys for putting the races on, and you guys for broadcasting. That's a great thing to be able to do in the off season. Give us something to do. A lot of fun.
For sure, putting on a show for the masses and putting off another podium finish here in the NEP series, another podium finish here on VidaneTV. Solid run here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's going to wrap things up here from the virtual Lucas Oil Park Raceway, whatever this racetrack's called, IRP as it used to be called here. Gonna take the weekend and figure out what we're doing with the 24-hour Daytona coverage, the official iRacing show this weekend. We might jump in and cover some of the teams. If not, we will definitely get linked up to all of the Twitch streams for sure. Back at it next week, 4 nights of late model racing here on VidaneTV. You do not want to miss it. We'll catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we are going to be doing it live.